software development lifecycle has been optimized since its inception. We've changed the continuous integration and deployment processes, creating better automated pathways for us to build our software efficiently and innovate with our teams faster. Continuous integration has become automated with tools like GitHub Actions. Continuous delivery evolved to continuous deployment when we automated deployments with tools like Armory CD as a service. So what's next to be automated? Introducing continuous communication. Makelog is designed to allow your teams to communicate internally and to your customers as the next piece of your software development lifecycle. Armory and Makelog have partnered for this demo to show you the advantages of continuous deployment and continuous communication together. In this demo, Stephen, the Principal Product Manager from Armory for CD as a Service, and I, JJ, Makelog CEO, will go over a progressive deployment using Armory's Continuous Deployment as a Service, automated communication for internal teams from Makelog, starting with a Jira ticket, automated communication for external users from Makelog, and how to replicate this process for yourself so you can reap the benefits of continuously communicating your continuous deployments.
Hey there! I'm Stephen from Armory. JJ and I are excited to show you how Armory and Makelog work together because we think you'll be able to benefit from this collaboration as well. Let's get started. I'm grabbing a ticket for a feature I'm ready to start working on. When I move it to In Progress, I can see that it is added in Makelog. In Makelog, my PM can now see that it's getting worked on. Before implementing Makelog, communicating to my PM required a manual message, taking me out of my work and slowing me down. I also often didn't proactively tell my PM about changes that they were interested in. Now, I'm going to open a PR that implements this and merge it to Make. This will build my application, run my tests, and then start my deployment pipeline. Armory starts my deployment and provides me with a URL that I can use to view and interact with my deployment. Here, I can see a high-level overview of how my code is reaching each of my environments. As you can see, my staging environment is currently updating. Once it finishes, it will run some integration tests and then notify Makelog if they pass. Once my change receives approval and these tests have passed, production will also deploy. Once each environment finishes deploying, Armory notifies Makelog that the code is now available in that environment. As PRs for a change become available, Makelog updates the change with the latest activity, providing visibility to the rest of my team so QA can start testing, docs can start documenting, and my PM can review the feature.
Now that the code has finished deploying to staging, I've just received a Slack notification from Makelog, letting me know that this change is now available in staging. I can go to staging to double check that this change meets its acceptance criteria and to grab feature screenshots to share in the release notes. Here, I'm using the preview URL that Armory created to allow me to easily see the new version, saving me the time it would take to find it manually. Everything looks good, so let's go get it communicated. I can click into Makelog to see the automatically drafted change. Makelog saves me time by generating a quality, easy-to-read title for the change with AI. It also makes an educated guess whether this is a customer-facing feature. I'd like to communicate this change to my internal and external customers, so I'm going to create a draft release for the change, but wait to make it public until after the change is promoted to production. I can add multiple changes into the same release, if they're shipping together, or I want to discuss them together. My upcoming release is now published internally across my company, and my marketing, support, and CS teams just received a Slack notification of this upcoming release. We'll make this release public once the change merges to production. Since this change looks good, I'm going to open Armory and approve this change deploying to production.
Slack just let me know that my change started deploying to production. My production environment leverages a blue-green deployment strategy to minimize the risk of frequent deployments. Let's walk through this strategy in detail. The environment-specific status UI is split into two. On the left, I can see a high-level overview of my deployment. This shows me the current progress. I can see that the green version is deployed and that we've run some automated tests against it, and that those tests passed. On the right-hand side, I can see more detail, such as that there are two different microservices being deployed together in the application. I can also see pod health, image version, etc. The old version is still receiving 100% of traffic, and the green version is still receiving 0% of traffic. As you can see, my new version has been deployed. After deploying it, we ran an automated canary analysis on it, which queried our Prometheus metrics and ensured that they were within expected tolerances. We also set up some preview links so that we can examine or run automated tests against the new version before or after we send production traffic to it. This is the application being deployed. It's working. I added a manual approval after each step of this deployment so that I can walk you through it. Usually this deployment just runs automatically, so let's issue the approval and redirect traffic to the new version. Now the new version is receiving 100% of traffic. After redirecting traffic, we have started another automated metric analysis. If it fails, we will roll back the change. Since the old version is still running, this rollback would be instant. Even if both pass, we can keep the blue version around for a while to allow instant rollbacks. When ready, I will hit approve and will continue to scale down the old version. My blue-green strategy will now shut down the old version, finishing my deployment. Armory CD as a service also supports canary deployment strategies, which incrementally increase how much traffic reaches the new version.
So now that we've deployed to production, Makelog just sent me a Slack notification that the change is now available in production. I'll click the link to open Makelog and to update the release to be public. Now that the change is public, it's visible on my public changelog. Most of my customers also subscribe to Slack and email notifications for new features, and they just received a notification about this release as soon as I made it publicly visible. Now, my users know immediately that the feature is available and have all the information needed to start using it. By automatically giving the right notifications to all of my customers, Makelog decreases the time it takes for them to initially adopt functionality that we ship.
Enabling Armory and Makelog to work together was extremely straightforward. I just updated my Armory configuration to notify Makelog after each target was updated. Armory's deployment configuration is stored in this file in Git alongside my application. Armory has a simple constraint system where I can specify tasks that need to happen either before or after a particular target deploys. I added a new constraint that notifies Makelog that the environment has been deployed after each environment finishes. I also added a webhook configuration for how Armory should talk to Makelog. In this demo, Armory was calling Makelog's environment API via a webhook. Armory supports both synchronous and asynchronous webhooks. Asynchronous webhooks are great for running tests in my CI system, since its API is structured as start job. For Makelog, I don't need to wait for an external job, so I disabled callbacks using synchronous webhooks. In my API webhook body, I am specifying the original SHA of my PR. This allows Makelog to identify the change that is being updated. I also pass Makelog the name of the target that the webhook was called against. Since we trigger the webhook from an after deployment constraint, this is always the name of the target that was just deployed. We also pass Makelog a URL that can be used to access that service, which allows my PM to easily access the deployed environment from the change.
Makelog and Armory make continuous deployment and continuous communication seamless, helping my development and PM teams increase their velocity, decrease the lead time to changes, and allow me to share the value of our releases to our external teams. As we continue to optimize the software development lifecycle, whether it's evolving from continuous delivery to continuous deployment, or evolving from spotty manual communication to streamlined continuous communication of our releases, we are all united by one thing: creating innovative software.